Okay, guys. So back to part two of your career reading. So right, step one is to acknowledge whatever is bothering you, what bothered you, whatever you went through. Save the feeling, and it's like when you just stay with it without trying to think of it, without trying to make sense out of it. It's like you're given the energy and an opportunity to spread out, right, and reveal itself to you, and then after a while you're able to put more words to it. So that's how I would suggest you go about it. If you want even more help, you can set up a consultation with me. Again, the information is in the description box below. But then that's basically how you go about it for everything. And it's especially healthy in this aspect where it's like things are beyond rationalizing. Sometimes it's like, okay, this makes sense, but why do I still feel this way, right? And sometimes it's not just about making sense out of it, it's about feeling it so that it can be released, especially if something that's connected to something where we've had this emotion, or we've had it neglected and haven't been dealing with it. We haven't dealt with it in a very long time, so it's like it had time to dense up within you. Basically the energy, it grows more stagnant and stagnant and stagnant because it was neglected, it was pushed in aside, it was just held there. No air was coming in, nothing, it was just there. And vibration is the kind of thing is that if there is no circulation, appropriate circulation, it just gets more dense. And yeah, it can manifest in many ways: illness, life circumstances, people, all kinds of things. And um it can also make it more sensitive to deal with, since it has not been touched in so long, basically. And sometimes, even if you make sense, like I said, about it in your mind, it just needs time to run its course and fully after you've approached it and stuff, it needs time to breathe. Hopefully I'm making sense for you guys. Okay. Excuse me. I went in the wrong hole. Anyways, I feel I need to say this because of the amount of swords, this 10 of swords. It's like this, basically, look at this. It's in this guy's spine. Right? That's your well, of course it's the backbone, but the main aspect that's keeping your skeletal structure in place, in the right places. Like without that, you'd basically fall apart. And the good thing about this is that what I see here is like we were talking about in the first part about the foundation that you were in. It was just about comfort, and now you're moving on to the next level. Even earlier before that, we were talking about how your state of being was manifesting like confusing and dramatic situations, unnecessarily dramatic situations, right? So I feel like this, since it's in your spine area, and this is telling me also that you might want to check all your chakras, realigning all your chakras. But it seems like this to help influence the outcome of your situation in terms of creating a life that is more of a better foundation for you, right? And this guy here, it's like he has a long way to go before he reaches the other side. He has a long way, a lot of time on his hands, basically. And to me, that time is needed, to be honest. And no, not saying your manifestation, whatever you want, is going to take forever. It's really up to you in terms of how much work you put on yourself, mixed with how much what a divine deems best. All right. But ultimately it's about vibration. If your vibrations on is in alignment with what you want, right? So I'm feeling these things you need to take care of that you've neglected, you haven't been able to give the proper time and attention and love it needs, right? It's connected to your foundations moving forward and the life you want to experience. And as you deal with each of those things, it's like each time a sword is being removed, right? And if this same situation where it's like what you felt is what you're manifesting, each time you remove a sword, you deal with each thing. You can imagine each time an aspect of your foundation is, what's the word? Complete is what came to me, but you guys know what I'm saying. Is healed. Let's say it that way, right? It could be that some of you guys are dealing with depression as well, because this is, it's like this guy, he's on dry soil, he's bleeding out. The sky is actually beautiful, but there's this cloud on top of him. And it's like, one moment. Sorry, something was troubling my eye. Right. So in a real life situation, with this kind of sunlight behind him, it's kind of this feeling of like a sun setting, right? But then there's this cloud. So it's like this cloud isn't supposed to be there. It's only there because of him and these things he has in himself. And that's just symbolic of energies and things that needs to be dealt with, right? With this water here in the background, it's like your intuition is there with you. Even with the sun energy too is there. So it's like you have a lot of support. It's just that, and also guidance, is just needing to deal with those things so you can prepare yourself to be in alignment with what you want, and then it will manifest. And honestly, just the way it began is beautiful, because it means it was like showing how powerful you are in terms of manifesting what you want. I mean, if literally you being like this, you being like this is what created the physical thing. When you get yourself in alignment, what do you think is gonna happen? Right? What do you think is gonna happen? Okay. Now, okay, I feel like pulling another card here. I mean, we already said that. You already know where you have to go. So you're on track. It's just an inner work kind of thing, right? Things that once brought you fulfillment, having to leave those things behind. And I'm getting it's like that's also what's influencing you being concerned about, like, this is how much you had to leave behind, and this is the abundance you're concerned about receiving with this offer. So that's what's influencing you being this mindset of, will this really give me this, because I had to leave so much. Like, am I, like, what's it for? Is it going to be for nothing? Now you already know that answer. Okay. Three of Cups. So what I'm getting is that I'm getting this essence of like options. There are social options here. There might be two people that you're dealing with who have given you, will give you, um, are about to give you, I guess that's the same thing, offers of fulfillment. But the question is, like, what's in the cup? Because it's like everyone's lifting their cup high, showing it shiny and stuff, but no one's really showing what's inside. You can see the surface, but when you drink that, what's in the components? The same way you have to be careful about what you eat, right? When you go to a store, a lot of times it's all about, well, how I shouldn't say all about, because there are people who generally care about other human beings and they sell stuff that were supposed to be digested into our system. But we also know that there are people who are just in it for the money. So it's like they make it look nice and everywhere attractable. But at the end of the day, when you consume it, it's like it's not good for you. It's bad for your health. It has a bunch of negative side effects, and it really was just about um an immediate satisfaction for whoever is giving this to you. It's about, like, what they can get for themselves. And I'm guessing like that's your concern too, especially considering this past situation where that person was like a lot about, concerned about themselves. Queen of Wands. Oops. What I'm getting is that this Queen of Wands here, to me it's a Leo energy, but I'm still getting a bit of a Sagittarian vibe for some reason. Fire energy, so it could be Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. It could be mean that you're dealing with a female figure who is in a state of authority. That could be one of the people who are currently causing this confusion or influencing this confusion. And I'm getting the sense of, like, normally for black cats it's about like intuition and stuff. It could be that that person there, they have like water sign elements to them, and there's this thing about water energy, right? What I want to say has to do with like how water signs, like water energies, fight. It's kind of a intuitive battle, an emotional battle, so it's super low-key, and to get it you have to be in that vibe, or at least aware of, like, the details to a certain extent. And it's like, I'm guessing okay, one thing that might be the case is that this person, this mother figure, this female figure in authority, she has some kind of connection to those wounds that you need to deal with. One, the other thing that I'm getting is the same thing I said about this whole emotional battle that water signs tend to have. And you see how she's in the desert, so I'm getting like maybe this person might have like a bit scorpionic placement, because scorpions, like, most of them are in the desert, if not all. I can't remember. Excuse me if, like, that's an obvious thing, but I don't really think about that. So yes, I haven't had a reason to think about that. So yeah, um so there might be like a kind of Scorpio like vibe to this person. And especially Scorpios, they have this thing about them where it's like they might show you one face but underline it, or like in between the words there are feelings. They know what they're saying, they know what they're doing it on purpose. They know how to press it in buttons. And generally water signs, when it comes to them being aggressive in any way or fighting in any way, they know it's about an emotional battle basically. And right, again with this Leo energy, there's a emotional tie here, I'm guessing. Like people who like, how the best way to get the person who would know how to get to somebody the most would be the person that someone is the closest to, because they know like all the things about that person on a personal level. So it's like, this thing about, like, how family knows how to trigger you and so on, the people closest to, or if you're in a relationship with somebody, a romantic relationship, somebody who knows like all the nooks and crannies about you, or have like spent enough time with you to know about certain things and how it will affect you. There's this element of like, you know, those people who are causing the drama, they have a sense of using their awareness to cause harm, or like to cause the problems. Oof, my arm. Like they know what buttons to push. And it really is like about what I want and what I see. There's a very controlling vibe to it. Okay, let's pull the grounding energy. Now the grounding energy is more of a like, whew. Okay. It's more of the immediate energy in terms of what you're dealing with right now, especially on a physical level. And like the current energy is more about like foreshadowing, more of the, like I said, the more unseen things that are going on for you emotionally, spiritually, in a divine sense. And this is, grand energy is more about like the things you can see, and the more physical, the more immediate experiences, right? So what we got, I think it was right, it was this way. We got the Five of Swords, and then we got the Two of Swords, air energy. So still getting this essence of like, okay, you've let go of people, having to move on from things that no longer served you, and like it's like you're happy you've had to do it, but somehow you still feel like binded, still feel stuck in your mind about those things. Or I'm hearing as well like guilt, maybe even for having to leave those things, those situations behind. But it's like, first of all, one, you're doing it to yourself. Two, um mhm. I'm also hearing leaving, what's binding you as well is like, you know how everyone, like I said, you saw an aspect of that person in yourself, so there's this essence of feeling trapped in like a certain aspect of yourself, like an inability to let go of a certain aspect of you that no longer serves you, basically. And it's like intuitively you know better, but you're still lost in your mind about it. And I feel like, let's get more clarity, but I feel like it's more connected to those same things, those deep seated things that you need to face and deal with. And that's where you'll find your answer to be able to let go. Oops. Options. So right away I'm feeling safety. That's what came to my mind with this option card. Like, okay, you let go of those things, but like what's next? And normally when we have a hard time letting go of anything, it really does come down to this. Like, because everyone, most people, let's put it that way, they can be easily like, you know, in a world where I can get anything I want this thing. Period. However, when it comes to the practical reality of things, our actual everyday real life experiences, our actual real life opportunities, what we have available to us right now, sometimes it's hard to see how that can happen without doing so and so and so. And it's like you feel trapped because you feel like you know, what if you need that aspect, what if you need these people, you know, for one, to secure your security in whatever avenue direction you're supposed to go. Like, what if you need them for something, or what if also you need that aspect of yourself, right? Ooh. Okay, now first of all, you need to rest, is what I'm getting. You need to rest, take care of yourself, love on yourself, like I said. um to put those swords down, those things that are confusing you, the doubt, the overthinking, the being so lost in your mind. And that's true. From the beginning, you've been lost in your mind. It's still going on subconsciously. In real life, physically, it's like you're vacillating about those things. That's to help you move more in a direction that would bring you true peace and fulfillment. You have to find a way to ease those concerns. I think I mentioned binaural beats earlier in the first part. I can't remember if it was for this reading, or somebody else, some other sign that I read for. But if I had to say an easy way to start off, that you don't have to do much in terms of getting yourself off the ground, I would say binaural beats. Get them. They're super crazy help, to be honest. Like, that is one of the biggest blessings. Like, especially you're the kind of person where it's like you're not always up for meditation. That one for, I can hear my mother shouting, singing. Anyways, that's good. Alright, so right, you need rest, you need recuperation, you need alignment, is what I'm hearing. Um, self-love. If you don't have a self-love routine, you need to get one. If you do have one, you need to fall back into that. Um, get into the daily habits, the things you know in the past it has brought you peace, clarity, stability. Try to implement those things now, rely on those things. It will bring you back to yourself. And but it's only by reuniting with ourselves are we able to see clarity truly on what we need to see clarity on. Because what's the point in, like, if you need to make a decision on something and you're not in a state of mind that allows you to stay in a to make a decision, then you might as well just not make a decision. Like, so what I'm getting is, like, leave those things alone, take a pause. Maybe that's what you need. You need a break, fall back, take care of yourself, and then when you get yourself to that feeling good state, to that state where it's like, I feel like myself, I feel balanced, then you can go back, because you'll be in alignment and you'll be able to see things clearly for what they are. You'll be able to see what you need. And let me tell you something, right? If you're dealing with, when it comes to the things that you're concerned about, like, the aspect of yourself or those people, like, what if you need them back then? First of all, the divine knows that. So if the divine is directing you somewhere and you know what the divine is directing you, it has accounted for that. So you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to put your hands in that bag. It's already in that bag for you on your behalf, right? All you need to do is follow whatever it tells you to do, right? Your way, but still follow that path, right? It's for you. It's designed for you. One. Two is that, how do you say, whatever you're trying to get out of fear, whatever movements you make out of fear, one, you know, the essence of whatever intentions, I think I made a video on that, and whatever you put in the journey is what you're going to get at the end of the journey, right? So if you put fear in the journey, you're going to get fear-based situations. Fear is a vibration. You put fear in the vibration of your journey, then what is the manifestation going to be? Something that is going to be result in something fearful. So you need to deal with your fears, and let's be practical. So be honest with yourself about those things you are concerned of. Educate yourself on those things. Research different opportunities, different ways of looking at it. Like literally look up that thing. If you are worried about security, like research securing so so and so. If you're worried about mental security, emotional security, physical security, research those things, you know. And personally, my my suggestion is always to look towards your not just ancient history but your ancestral lineage, um because the secret is always there in terms of what is right for you specifically. Because the truth is that if you're spiritual, there's a high chance that you have some kind of um ancestral lineage that was of people who, like we always say, kings and queens, right? They knew what they were doing, they knew how to protect themselves, they didn't have like the internet and whatever. you know they had societies that actually gave a fuck about them, right? They had structures, cultures that actually was about, happiness and fulfillment and the things that really mattered, right? So you might want to do some research in terms of that, especially those things that are concerning you. um Maybe that'll give you the answers that you need, because if you're wondering, maybe not, maybe you definitely need answers. And yes, it's true, it can come in a different pace, in different forms, but you need answers. If you didn't, then you'd be able to take action without a problem, confidently, with no doubt. Oh man, let me drink some tea because I'm feeling tired again. That's one thing about these readings, they take a lot of energy out of you. A lot of people don't realize, like, the more you use like intuitive abilities, the more it takes out of you, because that ability is so potent, right? And it uses up more. It uses up not only more energy, it uses up come on, don't slip me. um it just takes up more from you because the frequency is higher. It uses up more potent energy. I think that's what I want to say, excuse me. So yeah. Right. So I feel like, okay, let's pull out one more card, then we're gonna check the bottom of the deck to see the overall energy, and then we're gonna end. I feel like pulling a chakra healing crystal card for you guys. Affirmation card for you guys. You see why we had to do a part 2? Oh, this one is a lot longer than I thought. Right, so Ace of Wands. This is about your passions. What are you passionate about, Sagittarius? What do you really want? And what I'm getting is that you have received or about to receive a, a gift from the universe, but what I'm getting is like something that you want, but it's like you can't really see it for what it is because you're too caught up in your mind about the things that aren't what, like, isn't what you want. And trust me, that shit is crazy because yo, it's like, it's a difference between people who know how to make the best out of the situation and people who just, they don't know what they have. Like it could sit literally right in front of them, but they just don't know how to use what they have, so they can't even see. They don't have not just the imagination, the creative ability, I guess that's the same thing, um the capacity to make it into what it can be made into. And it's like right now for you, the answer is there, but first it's right now it's clouded up, right? In the mental state. That's what's consuming you right now. You can't see straight. So you need to clear these things away, and then you'll be able to see straight. Because you see what? It's funny because, right, all these things are in your mental state. All these things are there. The divine are having all these. This is there, this is there, this is there. But the problem is, this is what's there most of the time. You see, this, the sun in the background. This fulfillment in the background, right? But what's in front of you? What's you seeing the most? This cloud. You can't reach that. You can't fulfill that. And I don't know if you've noticed, but look at this purple land, right? Remember in the beginning, this guy, he was looking out and he could see this purple land. Hopefully I can make it clear for you. Right, perfect. See the purple land? This guy, yeah, he's like beaten up down there, but he can still see it. That's you right there. Same guy. A woman or whoever you are. And personally, by the way, when it comes to if you're a woman reading this, watching this, sorry, if it shows male figures, for me it's a tendency, at least for me personally. So it might not be for you. You alone would know really how it resonates and what is right for you. But it could be more particularly your masculine energies. That's how it's operating right now. Okay, that's its state right now.